Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been ended.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines!
Dylan leading the field here as they head into 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Dylan with the pole. William George trying to fight hard in second there as they continue to battle it side by side back behind him. George now finds himself watching up the track. I believe that I can't actually quite tell who that is in the middle. I think that is Christopher. Nope, that is I still can't tell who that is in the green truck, but they were first to be in the middle there. Looks like it was the 27 of John Tiller, who has a little bit of a newer look tonight. And, you know, while we talk about things and newer looks here and there, Dylan Carrier, we missed it last week, but he was able to get the win at Las Vegas, which captured his second win in a row. So Dylan Carrier really on a hot streak here, and we'll pull up those points in just a second. But you see Christopher Stange now taking the race lead away. Dylan Carrier now has his hands full behind him as Christopher Cox and William Gorge battle it out for third. John Tiller right there pushing the bright yellow 53 of Christopher Cox as they went into one. And now as they work off of four, John Tiller, William George, those two battle it side by side down the front straightaway. George atop, Tiller on the bottom. Tiller not able to make that truck stick. He'll lose some time off the exit, but still holds strong on the inside. Now slides up behind the 24 of George. Tiller trying to do his best on the inside lane. Not able to get that truck rotated. Oh, a little bit of an outside wall scrapage as well right there. Heading down this long straightaway. That allowed Christopher Cox to close in just a bit. Wasn't able to make a move though. Dealt with a little bit of dirty air that forced him to get checked up as well. Now we'll take a look at these point standings real quick as well here from when they entered the race here tonight. So Xavier Rugglebrugge not here, but came in as the leader. Dylan Carrier, who has been on that hot streak recently, up to second. Smith third. So I mean, Dylan Carrier has a lot that he can make up and really do with the point situations here tonight. Again, right now, currently running second after starting on the pole. Trying to keep this field at bay is the 29 of Christopher Stange. William George, John Tiller, Christopher Cox round out your top five. Back behind them, Noah Blackwell with a return. Ryan Holler up to position number 7. So Holler from the back of the field working himself up at least 4 spots since the start of the green flag in that bright 19 Menards machine as he tries to catch the other 2 bright yellow machines in front of him of Blackwell and Cox. As the field works themselves around, we will have now 10 laps working on lap 11. And field mostly kind of single filed out right now, kind of figuring out their groove. I mean, they know that they will more than likely have a green flag pit stop here that they have to make tonight. Again, a smaller field, only 10 trucks taking tonight's green flag, so really not going to be as rowdy or as impatient, I think, out of these drivers at the start here. I think they each know what's at bay, especially these drivers who are in this chase championship hunt. William George now getting pressured from John Taylor once again. Those trucks get a little bit squirrely behind as they work off a 2. Blackwell trying to make the move to the inside of the 53 of Christopher Cox. Ryan Holler back there waiting in the wings as well to get at least one of those drivers, possibly even 2. Still, oh, slight contact right there almost between Tiller and William George. Tiller slides up, had to get out the throttle pretty quickly to avoid sending both those trucks up the track. Was able to slot back in line and build up another run down the back straightaway. So, as costly as that could have been, Tiller, though, able to rebound pretty quickly. He has 2 drivers behind him, though, that are looking to move themselves by both of those 2 green machines. So it's really the yellow machines versus the green machines out here tonight. Right now, that group being led by William George, who has had to be on defense these past couple of laps. Christopher Cox works high. He's the first driver up against that outside wall. Oh, what a close exit of 4 the driver, the 24, had right there. That's what you got to do, though. You got to be able to use all these lines that you possibly can. You see the middle, you see the bottom, and you kind of start to see a few drivers work themselves. Oh, contact! Ryan Holler. The 53 as well. Christopher Cox, he goes around. So Christopher Cox going off the front end of Ryan Holler's machine. That'll bring on our first caution of the night. Looks like Cox maybe has a little bit of front end damage. Ryan Holler looking like he got pretty... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any real damage on that 19 truck, but I'm sure he'll want to come down and take a look at that. And actually, from that camera shot, yeah, you definitely see a little bit of left rear damage, so doesn't look like it's going to affect the spoiler too much, but it will definitely want to be addressed during this pit stop right here under caution. So as the field works themselves down pit road for the first caution of the night, that'll be led by Stange and Dylan Carrier. We're going to go back and take a look and see how this one happened between the 19 and the 53. So it happened in the middle of the back straightaway, but going back a little bit further, I mean, you see these 2 racing one another. I mean, really, these 6 trucks under a blanket, each side by side, and it looks like, oh boy, I think Christopher Cox was trying to slot up in line behind the 18 of Noah Blackwell. You see him have to get out the throttle there, getting very tight on the door of the 18, and just, yeah, tried to come up in front of Ryan there, and unfortunately, Ryan was right there up against that outside wall, and again, Cox just clearly didn't get the information from his spotter that there was a car outside there. Let's take a look at it one more time here at a different angle, and yeah, just a little bit late of a move up from the 53, and Unfortunately for Ryan, another incident which he has not really been causing anything. It's just he gets involved in these incidents, and unfortunately it seems to be like a magnet for that 19. All right, pace car is off. We're getting ready to take the green flag once again. Dylan on the pole, or on the starting front row again with William George, who is outside. Christopher Stange falls back to 5th as Dylan able to get a good launch down the front straightaway. He'll lead by a truck length or 2. Behind him, Lucian Thompson trying to hold on for 2nd. Stange works himself on the bottom. He'll take it 3 wide. Blackwell in the middle. George up top. They get that figured out. As Christopher Stange with a power move of a restart, now contending back to the top spot. Trying to get the race lead once again. He'll dive it low. Looks like Christopher Stange will be able to clear, and I'm wondering, I think a lot of these drivers potentially decided not to take tires, and I think Christopher Stange did do so there, which is why he was able to really go by those guys as they're 3 wide once again. Blackwell now finds himself on the top side, the 53 on the bottom, the 27 in the middle. They get it sorted out, back to double file. Blackwell helping Tiller down the back straightaway. Christopher Cox now able to take advantage of that, and he'll slot himself inside the top 5. Now he has to make a decision who he's going to go with, Thompson or Tiller in front. Carrier right there as well. Looks like he's struggling a bit on this restart as well. So Dylan Carrier restarting in 1st position. He's falling back, currently back to 4th place, potentially under fire here in a few seconds from Kenneth Lowry in the number 4 machine, and yes, he will be. So as quickly as that was going to be a battle, it goes back to being a 2-car battle. So as quickly as that was a 2-car battle, it goes back to being a single-car battle between themselves. So now you focus back on Ryan Holler, who had some of those incidents just a moment ago between him and the 53. Again, Ryan really not doing anything wrong, just unfortunately a driver misjudging a position out there on track and able to get that damage fixed, it looks like, and really back to where he was running, about that 6th to 7th position, trying to get around Dylan Carrier for 5th, and yes, he will. So Dylan Carrier will now slot back to 6th position. Ryan Holler will now move himself inside the top 5 for the first time here tonight. But Christopher Stange out front currently, he's been able to build up almost a 2-second lead over John Taylor in 2nd. Christopher Cox in 3rd, a little bit further back. But right now, the field sets themselves up to have to catch up to the back of the 29, who seems to be really fast here tonight, starting on that front row and really took the lead away pretty early on and has not looked back since then. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take our first side-by-side commercial break of the night. You guys won't miss a thing. You're currently watching the National Stock Car iRacing Series live from Kansas Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You got a great car, great team. Go execute. Start time. We know what we got to do. Stay the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been ended.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Alrighty, welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the National Stock Car iRacing Series, live from Kansas Speedway. Right now, working on through some of the first early portions of this race. You see the battle for second heating up between John Tiller and Christopher Cox. Those two kind of been close together throughout this whole run so far, but really putting the battle between one another here this past lap. And now Christopher Cox try to work that inside lane, not able to make it stick. He'll have to fall back in line to be seen behind John Tiller. Look behind them, Ryan Holler from 6th to 5th and now up to 4th position. Ryan really having to have a good sort of, I wouldn't say he definitely needs to have a good night, but he definitely wants to be able to have sort of a bright brighter look at the end of the season. He's, again, talking about him getting caught up in things like that early first caution. Ryan's just been a magnet to wrecks, and not really anything that he does out there to wreck anybody. It's just somehow the wrecks seem to find him. And again, with another good run here, hopefully he can continue on doing what he's doing out there tonight and remain inside the top 5 as we look back to the battle here for second and third. Tiller hanging on tough, but he's definitely losing the handling of that race truck. You see Christopher Cox all over the back bumper of the 27 here. Takes a look to the inside, and 3 and 4, they'll be side by side as they work themselves through the center. Will Christopher Cox be able to clear? Not quite. John Tiller fights hard on the outside. Those two will remain in tow with one another. Christopher Cox just needs to just barely get there and clear himself. He's just not quite able to do so, and now has to fall back in line once again. So a great drive by John Tiller to hang on to this position, but we're probably starting to get a little bit frustrated here when trying to work around the 20, the 53, trying to probably get a little bit frustrated and tired of having to work around the 27 now. These two remain about 2 seconds back from Christopher Stange, who has pulled away and kind of remained with where he is at. But I'm sure if Christopher Cox can find a way around John Tiller, as you see John go a little bit high right there in 3 and 4, could that be what the 53 needs? Yes, it is. But here comes the crossover. John Tiller looks back to the inside using the apron. Christopher Cox now has that higher side. Will he be able to use it? He runs way high, diamonds it down just a bit, and now he looks like he'll be able to fully clear. So with that, Christopher Cox will move himself into second position, put a gap between him and Tiller by about a truck length or 2. And he'll go try and set himself up to catch the back bumper of the 29, which I do think Cox can maybe try and make a little bit of a dent in that race lead, but the clean air is going to be so key, especially at these 1.5-mile tracks where you see when you start to close in the back on the back bumper of the driver in front of you, especially the race leader, you really start to struggle with how the handling of those trucks work, and really makes it a tough time to make a pass for the race lead. But for the time being, the top 3 go to Christopher Stange. Christopher Cox, John Tiller, Ryan Holler, and now Kenneth Lowry finds himself holding down at that 5th position. Dylan Carrier running out just outside the top 5 in 6th position. Then we head back to Noah Blackwell, who is currently running in 7th. Then we go back to the final 3 trucks here, kind of closer together. William George, Lucian Thompson, and then Michael Badgera as well. So those 3 drivers back here running 8th and 9th and 10th, looking to sort things out as they remain close enough to put a decent amount of pressure on one another here for the rest of this race. And again, we have Christopher Stange, who has really been out front at the point for so long here in tonight's race. Lost a little bit of that ground after coming to pit road under that first caution at lap 15. Found himself, though, taking 4 tires, and I think for a full tank of fuel, so a little bit different strategy there. And boy, he's been a rocket ship ever since then. And yeah, you do start to see Christopher Cox close down a little bit, but it's not really a super big dent from what it was probably previously from seeing some of these other drivers in 2nd place trying to close down the gap. So he is starting to close. It's just not super quick, and if Cox can continue to be consistent, running just a little bit quicker, it's right now about a 10th, if that, a lap, kind of either quicker or matching around that area, Christopher Cox would probably catch up to the 29, but again, he still has the 27 of John Tiller in his mirror. Now you see some of these guys work themselves down pit road. Dylan Carrier, Noah Blackwell, and Lucian Thompson. Those three drivers work themselves down onto pit road. Dylan will be the first driver to hit his box. All three of them look like they'll be able to get through pretty easy without any significant issue. And actually, it looks like the 61 coming down pit road was speeding. So 61 going to have to spend a little bit extra time here on pit road with that black flag. And that'll probably be a difficult, hard hit to swallow, considering he was staying right there with the two other drivers, and now he'll at least go down probably a lap, if not more. Now it looks like race leader Christopher Stange will come down pit road a little bit later with having that decent sized race lead. We will see if Christopher Cox and John Tiller decide to follow this lap. I would not be surprised if they do decide to come down pit road. I'd be a little bit more surprised if they stay out, considering where they are running and how far back they were. And yes, so we will see Christopher Cox. Oh boy, that was a tight pit road right there on entry. Trying to get it wound up and committed so that he didn't overshoot that commitment line. Just barely able to get it slowed down at the last second. Doesn't look like there is any penalties for either of those drivers, so they get on cleanly and they'll come and take their service. Ryan Holler now will be cycled to the race lead. In the wall a little bit there. In 3. Able to get it off pretty quickly though, but he's going to stay out a little bit longer, try and lead a lap or a few. So now with that, that'll put 3 drivers on the remaining lead lap. Michael Badra in second. William George will be in third. A first driver, the 1 lap down mark, will be Christopher Stange. So things continue to cycle out through the top 3 to 4 positions. Top 3 still have yet to come down pit road. Christopher Stange will probably cycle out back to the race lead here once these 3 drivers in front of him decide to come down pit road. And you see the first of those 3 remaining coming down. That's 19 of Ryan Holler. So he'll lead a handful of laps and finally get called down pit road from his team. That'll give the 37 of Michael Badra here the race lead. William George will now cycle out to second here. So with that, things will start to kind of cycle back to normal. In a few laps, we'll see when these other 2 drivers, these top 2, Badra and George, we'll see when they decide to cycle out. Obviously, Christopher Stange, when he comes out, he'll have a pretty decent lead over who he was racing before of Christopher Cox and Dylan Carrier, as well as John Taylor. So those 3 drivers going to have some ground to make up after this green flag round of pit stops. Michael Badra, though, still out at the point, continuing to just lead some extra laps. He can go a little bit longer, so can George, but George decides now to, work himself down onto pit road. So the 24, excuse me, of William George will come down, and looks like he'll be able to get everything wound up. Oh, I think, yes, he was able to get stopped in his box pretty easily. So they'll work the right sides and then move over to the left sides for 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and he will be off and away. Michael Badger right behind him now, working himself on and down onto pit road. Same sort of thing here. Looks like he's going to have an easier entry, not try and push the boundaries. They're going to work over to the right side. Now going over to the left side as well. So Christopher Sainz now cycled back to the race lead. He's got about a 6-second lead over Christopher Cox, John Tiller, and then another 2 back until Dylan Carrier. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break here in just a moment. But before we do that, let's watch this battle between Noah Blackwell and Ryan Holler as they battle it out for 6th position. Ryan has been so good tonight. He's been able to keep that momentum from the start of the green flag up. Right now, trying to get back to 6th position. Again, one of those drivers who pitted a little bit later, so he's going to have those fresher tires to work with and make some moves here in these first couple of laps from getting them. But Noah Blackwell fights tough on the inside. So Ryan thought he was going to get off pretty easy there. Blackwell decided, no sir, I am going to fight you for that. But now looks like after a good 1 and 2, Ryan should be able to have a pretty decent lap here and be able to now focus himself on the 35 of Kenneth Lowry in front of him, which would be for 5th position. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take another commercial side-by-side break here for the National Stock Car iRacing Series live from Kansas Speedway. We'll be right back with you guys in just a few moments.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next lap is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your
Welcome back in once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the National Stock Car iRacing Series, live from Kansas Speedway. Dylan Carrier, Kenneth Lowry, these two drivers going at it here for position number 5. Both these drivers want to be inside the top 5. Ryan Holler has moved himself into 4th again, so Ryan, with those fresher tires, wasted no time there to get around some of these drivers, and now trying to close the door and that gap on John Tiller in front of him. He's got about, I'd say, between 2 seconds in front, 2 to 3 seconds in front, depending on what the lap time looks here. It's kind of slowly been going down between Tiller and Holler, but it's also not going down rapidly, so the progression definitely not as quickly as it was with some of the other drivers that Ryan was able to get around. Now you do see Christopher Cox right in front of Tiller, so if these two drivers get racing for second, it'll definitely close that gap down just a bit. And if Ryan can get these two guys racing, that would probably be beneficial to him, as he looks to have a great night here on the race tonight. We also look to Christopher Stange again, who has pulled out to almost a 4.5 second race lead. That's the 24 of William George, who is right behind him. He is currently 1 lap down, trying to get one of those laps back, and I don't think Stange will put up too much of a fight. They'll probably just let him go. Yeah, it doesn't look like Christopher Stange will put up too much of a fight. So William George will move himself back on the lead lap. That'll put 9 out of the 10 trucks on the lead lap here. So let's run through our top 5 real quick. Christopher Stange, again, with the recurrent race lead. Christopher Cox back in second. He's been able to be fast here, but losing a bit of time to Christopher Stange. We really see the 53 come alive towards the end of the run. Then we look back to the 27 of John Tiller, who has had a great night, holding down around the 2nd to 3rd position. That's currently where he remains right now. But, I mean, a great night here at Kansas Speedway for that team. And another driver who is currently having a great night is the 19 of Ryan Holler, who continues to just have speed and, again, hasn't been able to close some of these out due to getting caught up in other incidents. But right now, having a really clean night besides that one incident that really didn't affect him too much. And now sets himself up, hopefully, for maybe what could be a podium at night. We look to Kenneth Lowry in the 35, and then Dylan Carrier right behind him. So 5th and 6th are the 2 closest drivers, probably besides Cox and Tiller in 2nd and 3rd out here on the racetrack. As we take a look as well at our weather display here quick. Right now it's 81 degrees, track temp 121, so this track fairly hot, fairly slidey, although you don't really see that playing into too much of a factor right now. These trucks look to be kind of building on the tighter side of things, especially when you start to get racing with somebody else and you get underneath on their left side of the door. So, I mean, we really haven't seen too much of looseness being caused by a hot racetrack, but definitely still something that could occur, especially now that these guys are mostly single filed out. You know, you won't be building tight with burning your right front up. You could now potentially shift that to burning the right rear up, trying to catch the guy in front of you. So a lot of things still can potentially go either positive or negative here tonight, as we're 71 laps in. Now we will come across to 72. And taking a look at the race recap as well, I mean, we got only one caution so far, but we've had 7 lead changes, which has really been an up and down night for some of these guys. I mean, Dylan, who started towards the front, was able to lead a little bit. You know, he's back to 6th position, 10 seconds back. He wanted to make it 3 in a row here tonight, but as these laps continue to wind down, it's going to be harder and harder for him to try and close that distance and that lost time up. The fastest lap in most laps, so go to the driver of the 29 who is out front. And I mean, for very obvious reasons, this truck has just brung its absolute best out here tonight and has not looked back. They have not made a mistake all night, and they look to hopefully tend to hang on to this race lead and come out here with the race victory. Ryan closing the gap down on John Tiller in the 27. So Ryan, who has been able to take advantage of those tire difference that he has over a lot of these guys, now taking advantage here later in the run. He looks to the inside of John Tiller in the 27, not quite able to make it stick, so he'll have to fall back in line. Oh, a little bit of a wall right there. And now we get a caution, and actually that should be for the stage. So I completely kind of forgot about that as we started to work through these laps, but that stage, it should be the stage caution. And you'll have Christopher Cox. So the Christopher's taking 1 and 2, then John Taylor, Ryan Holler. I mean, you can just see the lineup on your timing and scoring. 10 spots, getting those playoff points, and how they sit is how they will be scored at the end of that stage there. Now, Ryan almost had a chance at getting that 3rd position away, just wasn't able to make it stick. But I would watch for that 19 to potentially cause some noise here on this restart. You know, really quick here tonight. Again, he just needs the luck to be on his side, and the driver of the 19 could find himself with collecting, I think, what would be his first podium of the season as the field works themselves down pit road. Christopher Stange, Christopher Cox will be those top 2. So Cox will be the first driver to hit his box. Stange will be close there in 2nd. Tiller and Dylan Carrier will get those other boxes in the picture here. Then you have Lucian Thompson, who should be able to get the lucky dog, considering he was the only driver 1 lap down. Again, William George was able to get his lap back there under green, so he was able to put that machine back in a lead lap position. And yes, it looks like Lucian will get that lucky dog. So we'll now have all 10 drivers back on the lead lap here as we just wrapped up our stage. So again, we'll take a look at our point standings here from entering tonight's race. These are not reflecting on current standings, but these are what the points will look like to begin the race here with the playoff standings. And I mean, with Xavier Rugglebrugge and Joseph Smith not being here, a lot of these drivers are able to maybe capitalize on that and take advantage of what could regularly be maybe a great night by the driver Xavier and Smith. But you know, we still have a long ways to go here, and you still need to be on your A game, and the Christophers will make up the front row here as we get set to take the green flag once again. Oh, a little bit of troubles there on the outside for Christopher Cox. That stacks up that outside lane. Ryan Holler right behind, unfortunately, gets the worst end of that. Oh, contact there between Blackwell and Cox as they went into one. Ryan losing a bit of positioning there. He's back to 5th, trying to work to the inside of Cox. Cox, though, fighting tough on the outside. Battle up for 2nd between Dylan Carrier and John Taylor. Dylan right now able to clear for that spot. John Taylor will fall back to 3rd. Blackwell will try and focus on hunting both of those drivers down well. Also getting pressured from Christopher Cox from behind. William George, who just got back caught up with that caution. That proved to be decent for him, as right now he sits in 6th position right behind these guys in front. Ryan, not sure if this was the restart he was looking for. He's back to 8th position and continuing to fall. I'm not sure if maybe I'm not sure if there's an issue or if he's just, I'm not quite sure why he's so off pace right now after having such a good run there before, but he's losing time pretty quickly. Wondering if maybe they didn't go with tires there. That could be a potential, but I'd be a little bit surprised. We'll have to see if we can catch up on anything with that. But like the race started here, Christopher Stange, Dylan Carrier back to 1 and 2. John Tiller right there in 3rd. He's held down that 3rd position all night. And now you have William George looking to make some noise here right behind them, trying to work to the inside of Cox, who had not the restart that he needed. Checked up that outside lane, fell back outside the top 5, now trying to battle back with some of these positions. Blackwell was able to take advantage and move himself in front of a couple of those drivers as well. So an interesting sort of restart happening right there. George taking a look to the inside of Christopher Cox. Will he be able to power move to the inside? Yes, he will. So William George shuts the door on Christopher Cox for 5th position. George now will try and battle it out with Noah Blackwell in front, who has been able to just quietly sit right with where he's running as well, kind of doing the same as John Taylor has been doing, which is just really been keeping pace, keeping relatively decent speed out there on track, and kind of just slotting himself in his own position. And you know, if these two get racing up at the front between Stange and Carrier, that could open up the door for those 3 to 4 drivers behind these top 2. Again, Dylan trying to get 3 wins in a row here tonight. Looking back from Christopher Stange. But if Dylan can make it 3 in a row, what a heck of a statement that would be after winning the regular season finale at Auto Club Speedway, then backing it up last week at Las Vegas to start the chase. If he can do another win here, this 54 team would be an absolute threat and a title contender. Not that he hasn't been, but I mean, if you're Xavier or Joseph Smith, you probably start to turn your heads a little bit and wondering where this speed out of the 54 has come from these last couple of weeks. But boy, right now, Christopher Stange has been the man to beat. Dylan still trying to find a way on through. George, who was able to get that spot from Christopher Cox, now getting pressured from Christopher for that position again. So as quickly as George took that spot away, he is now getting pressured from behind. And Dylan Carrier with a good run there through 3 and 4, able to work the high side of Christopher Stange. They still be side by side as they work off the exit of turn number 4. Close together there. The advantage goes to the 54. Will he be able to clear as they come off of turn 4? He'll be able to run that high side and have a little bit more throttle time, but Christopher Stange on the bottom fights tough, trying to come up to side draft maybe just a bit. And like I mentioned, with these two getting racy, it's kind of opening up the door. Oh, Stange has to get out the throttle. Gets very tight. Dylan in the wall just a bit as well. So that bobble out of these drivers, a big block. Oh, Dylan and Carrier goes around into the outside wall. Finds himself backwards, nose first, after going off the front bumper of the 29 of Christopher Stange. And we will see caution number 3 on the night. That truck having an absolute massive hit to the front end. You can see it on screen here how damaged that right front is, as well as that front nose. And again, that was just really racing for the race lead pretty aggressively. I mean, you saw Stange have to pedal out of it coming off it too, because he was getting super tight on the door of the 54. But then the 54 gets tight and hits the exit of turn 2, comes down, tries to throw a block, and unfortunately that did not work out between the two drivers. And now the field again working themselves down onto pit road. So let's take a quick look at this one here before we go back to the green flag. This caution happening at lap 92. So the battle between each other here as they worked into 1 and 2 remains pretty even. You see Stange, I'm not sure if he hit the apron a bit as well. He might have hit the apron a bit, which caused some of that checkup as well, but either way, had to backpedal out of it. And you see the block 1, block 2, and unfortunately those bumpers connected, sending the 54 straight into the outside wall down the back straightaway. right there. I mean, if Dylan did not hit that outside wall, he would not have been in the position to have to make those blocks for the race lead. And I don't think Christopher Stange really intentionally meant to do that, but I mean, you know, trying to peek once, then getting blocked, and trying to peek a second time and getting blocked there as well. This will be a good shot. You'll see them go down with the block, then trying to move back up. And yeah, just going off the front nose, those two bumpers getting together, and Dylan with a hard hit to that outside wall. He'll now be scored a little bit further back and have to make up some ground here on this restart. Thankfully, though, has a fast repair to work with, so not out of the race as he was able to work it around pit road, but that'll put Christopher Stange and John Tiller now on this front row for the restart. Getting set to take the green flag once again here as we work ourselves off of turn number 4. Pace car takes that hard left turn. Hands in the field of Christopher Stange. John Tiller to his outside. Christopher Cox, William George make up row number 2. Ryan Holler there on the inside of row number 3 as we take the green flag. Back racing here from Kansas Speedway. A great jump for the driver of the 29. Able to get a good launch there as he went into 1 and 2. Christopher Cox able to take that second position away on the bottom side, and Dylan Carrier now will make it 3 wide on Ryan Holler and William George. He power moves to the inside. He'll clear both those drivers. So Ryan Holler and William George probably wondering what the heck, how did he make that stick? As they battle it out for the top spot, Dylan continue to make up some ground. Dylan really all eyes on the big picture here. He catches back up to these top 2. He'll push the 29 of Stange. So Stange and Cox, who were battling there side by side, won't be for long as Dylan Carrier works to the outside. And as quickly as things were looking down, he now moves himself back up to the point, looking to collect win number 4 of the season. This would mark his 3rd in a row. Still battling it out for a second between Stange and Cox. Ryan Holler, John Tiller right behind them as well. Then Noah Blackwell in the picture as well. You see Ryan in the yellow neon Menards taking a look to the inside of Cox. He looks to move himself potentially into 3rd. No help from behind. The top 2 on the top side, nose to tail, so they'll be able to get a little bit of a better run down the straightaways. But Ryan having a good run here in 1 and 2, tries to slide up. Oh, Blackwell, a little bit of contact, and oh, John behind. What a heck of a save there from John Tiller in the 27, having a pretty decent lick there. You saw some of that race car part that came off the left front fender sliding down the racetrack. Him and Blackwell getting a little bit together there, working off a 2. Ryan Holler now taking another look to the inside of 3rd position, Christopher Stange, and able to get a good run there. He should be able to clear up. So Ryan now back on a good restart. He moves up to 3rd position. He'll set himself up to set sail and try and catch the number 53 of Christopher Cox. And you look ahead and you see Dylan way out in front, obviously taking some tires there. That last caution that he was involved in, actually, so it may have paid out for him as he went from spinning to leading by over 3 seconds now, and continuing to leave the field in his mirror. Michael Badra in the 37, though, making some noise as well, coming through the field. He wants to capitalize on these two in front as Ryan Holler able to get a good run. He'll now get a little bit of help from the 37 behind to try and work them to around the 53 on the bottom lane. Holler takes that position away, so Ryan Holler up to second. Michael Badra now trying to work himself around the 53 as well. With that, though, Ryan and Michael, these two will now, as quickly as Ryan got that second position away, Michael decided to take that spot, so Ryan up to second for a brief moment, now back to third again. But still, a little bit more speed out of that 19 than the 53 has, so Ryan looking to come out here with the podium as we continue to click down the laps here tonight. Dylan in his own car, sort of race out front, not having anybody around him and taking those tires and just taking off, really feeling that fire that he probably had after hitting that outside wall down the back straightaway into 3 and looking to collect win number 4 on the night or on the season. We're going to go ahead and take our what should be final side-by-side commercial break. You guys won't miss a thing here, though, as you are watching the National Stock Car iRacing Series live from Kansas Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engine!
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the National Stock Car iRacing Series, live from Kansas Speedway. The battle for this third position heating up. Ryan has it. Or sorry, that is not even third position. Kenneth Lowry is actually multiple laps down, so scratch that. Ryan Holler, though, still remaining in third with that. Excuse me, apologies for that. Dylan, though, as we take a look back up towards the front, growing the lead to almost 5 seconds and continuing to pull away. Michael Badra and Ryan Holler, those two separated by a pretty decent gap between one another as well. You see the picture there. I think Cox, George, and then the rest of the guys back here as well. I mean, everybody really single filed out for the time being. Not really a whole lot being occupied between one another of these drivers. I do think they do have to make one more pit stop before all is said and done now. We've only had one pit road speeding penalty on the night between these 10 drivers, so I think with these multiple pit stops that they've had tonight, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. But again, you can't always count those things out, and we see it time and time again that one bad pit stop towards the end of these things, you can go from being a top 3, top 5 driver to going down outside of the top, what would normally be a top 10. Obviously, with just 10 drivers here, you'll get sent back towards the back end of that. But I mean, you really, when you look forward to another pit stop coming up, what should be the final one under green flag conditions, you need to be able to set yourself up for as much success as you possibly can. You don't want to take it too easy and give up a lot of time. Yeah, if you're dealing with this large lead, you can potentially give up a little bit extra, but you don't want to underdrive a lot and give up all that race lead that you've built up, but you also don't want to push the issue too hard and get a speeding penalty. So I mean, really, there's a lot of pressure on these drivers to be able to execute this final pit stop that we have coming up here shortly. Ryan way high there in 3 and 4. Might have actually gotten a bit of that outside wall. However, able to recover and get that strut off as quickly as possible and not losing too much ground. But he does have Christopher Cox not too far behind, so Ryan does have to play that into a factor. These two drivers probably the closest between one another out there for a decent race that could potentially build up here over the next couple of laps. We actually go back to Lucian and Christopher Staines, which actually is the two closest drivers on track, but they relatively have remained the same and equal on pace. And Christopher, who went from race leading the way with the race lead, now finding himself back outside the top 5, running in that 7th position. So really, as quickly as things were going so good for him there, he's falling back, and with things sort of winding down here, Christopher will probably have to maybe count on a caution coming out and making up some of that ground, or just having maybe some issues here for the guys in front of him. Again, we still expect these guys to come down at least one more time for a green flag pit stop. Now, it'll be interesting to see when these guys do come down. You see one driver there. I think that's John Tiller in the 27 running in 9th. Yes, it is. So John will be the first taker to come down pit road out of these 10 drivers. Looks like Christopher Stange in the 29. We were just talking about losing kind of the grasp on this race. Under this run, he now comes down to pit road. So pits from 7th position, I believe it was. And he will now get his final pit stop underway. Ryan up to 2nd, William up to 3rd. So green flag pit stops continuing to play on here. Dylan, though, with this large lead, really doesn't need to worry about anything too much sooner. He will probably need to pit within the last 10 laps as we close in on these last 30. Now 29 laps at the line, but if you're Dylan, you got such a large lead. Really, the only thing that's going to change that is a caution or a mistake on the pit road. So Dylan really just needs to continue to set himself up for success. And again, if he's able to come out here with the race victory, this would be his third win in a row. And that momentum would be so huge for that 54 team right now, getting closer to the end of this season. After tonight, we only have 4 races left. We'll have Indianapolis Raceway Park, Michigan Speedway, Michigan International Speedway, Richmond Raceway, and then Homestead Miami Speedway for the championship season finale. So this 54 team can carry on with what they've been able to build off of these last 3 weeks. He could find himself maybe claiming the title here. Again, Xavier Ruggle-Brugge, Joseph Smith not here tonight, so those two are going to have to make up some ground next week. Four drivers find themselves currently on the lead lap. And those 4 drivers still have yet to make their green flag pit stop as well. Driver in 10th currently, Kenneth Lowry. He also has yet to pit, but he is currently 4 laps down. So Kenneth Lowry went from having a good night to getting caught up with some penalties there, and now will find himself a little bit further in the hole than what he was probably hoping for coming into tonight's race. Rounding just under 24 laps to go. Dylan Carrier, Ryan Haller, Lucian Thompson, Noah Blackwell, your top 4. And boy, the night just gets worse for driver of the 10 of Kenneth Lowry, who now working himself on the pit road. I think he got a speeding penalty because he's got a black flag, either speeding or a issue with hitting the commitment line, but I'm gonna assume that it's probably speeding on pit road there. And what was gonna be a harsh night in general now gets even worse, as he will go down at least 6 laps, potentially more. Not sure if that driver will continue on, but a driver who is now looking to put themselves on the pit road. We focus back to Dylan Carrier. Oh, a little bit of a slide there. That was probably a little bit of a moment there for him. Definitely did not want to have that step out too much more, or else he could have gone spinning. But Dylan will now be the first of those 4 drivers left to pit. Ryan Haller will come down as well. Then you see Lucian right behind them as well. No Blackwell, the 4th driver. So all those 4 drivers who had to come down pit road still now making their way onto pit road. Michael Badra will be the first driver on those newer tires and strategy call. So if he's able to get around, we'll see where this plays out to be. Dylan Carrier on the bottom side. We'll see Michael Badra work right in front of him. So Michael Badra will now cycle to the race lead after this green flag set of stops. Dylan, though, finds himself not too far back with the freshest sort of strategy out there. Michael has been out here for 8 laps so far, so if that plays into anything, you know, we'll probably see Michael Badra hang on for a little bit longer, but you'll probably start to see Dylan make up a little bit of ground. And Kenneth Lowry coming down pit road there. Again, did get the speeding penalty. Teammates to our race leader, Michael Badra, and you'll see him not put up too much of a fight. Just allows that driver in the 37 to go around. So Lowry going down another lap, but will still remain in this race. So as we come around to 18 laps to go, this time Michael Badra with the point. Dylan Carrier, though, after coming down pit road, he's going to try and chase down driver of the 37, and you see the speed difference here between these two. About 5 to 6 tenths of a lap quicker than Michael Badra that last lap. And now continuing to close on the back bumper of Michael Badra. I heard him get a little bit tight there, getting closer to the back bumper now. Dylan with the newer tires shouldn't have too much of an issue making it stick when going to make a move for the race lead, but it's just you don't want to get caught up in that dirty air and get tight like we kind of saw him there off at 4. Had to lift off the throttle just a bit. Didn't really gain that lap. We'll see what he can do this time coming off of turn number 4. Badra, Carrier, 1-2 nose to tail. With 16 laps to go, Dylan trying to close in. He's caught up that gap now with a good run to the outside. Badra goes high, Dylan to the bottom using the apron. At the line, Dylan is going to just barely nudge over, and now he will fully clear as they enter into turn 1 and 2. So Dylan Carrier with 15 laps to go, back at the point and pulling away from Michael Badra in second. You have to go back to William George and Christopher Stange. These two battling out for 4th position. George again having to make up a little bit of ground after being set back a bit. Was 1 lap down, had to race his way back to get that lap back under green flag racing conditions, and ever since then, going from about that 9th to 10th position and now moving himself into 4th. You wonder what that driver could do if maybe he didn't get set back there super early on. Dylan will see 12 laps to go this time by after what has been a lights out for these last, I'd say, 50 laps. Been able to put himself up at the point after having a moment on the back straightaway between him and Christopher Staines. Those two got together, battling for the race lead, a block from the 54 to the 53 to the 29. Sent the 54 into that outside wall, but now Dylan rebounding and going back to 5th position. This battle continuing to heat up for these 3rd to 4th and 5th positions. Ryan currently has it. Staines right there in tow. Both those drivers, though, trying to catch these two in front. Christopher Cox, William George right now running in 3rd and 4th position. So driver 54, Dylan Carrier, looking for 4 wins on the season. 3rd win in a row. He is just under 9 laps to go. He'll have at least a driver in front of him that could potentially be down a lap here. We look to Ryan, though, just now getting around William George. So Ryan Holler back with this long run speed. He could potentially get himself a podium finish. He's got Christopher Cox in front of him, and looking at the lap times, definitely quicker by just a bit over that 3rd place driver. Ryan running that high side, just needs to stay off of it as he just got a little piece of it right there. As we ride on board as Ryan, again continuing to see him run this high side, trying to gain that ground on Christopher Cox ahead of him. What a night this would be for Ryan if he can come out of here with a podium finish. Again, having so bad luck to his name this season, getting caught up in a lot of other people's mistakes, but tonight, driver of the 19 has set himself up for the best outcome that he possibly can get. Now, with just 6 laps to go this time by, can Ryan find himself moving himself into a podium position, continuing to closing back on the back bumper of the number 53. Two different distinct lines here. I mean, you see Ryan way up against that outside wall. Maybe had to get out the throttle just a bit, trying to get as much as he possibly can up there. Oh, into the wall just a bit. Ryan, though, able to crank that thing down off the wall and get that thing pointed straight. And that actually looked like it kind of helped him right there. Now runs a little bit lower, decides not to get too close to that outside wall. Again, this is the battle for 3rd position. The last of the podium spots, and Ryan in the wall again, really losing the handling on that right front. It's starting to look like that thing is really starting to push very tight, especially the closer that he's gotten to the back bumper of Christopher Cox for 3rd. Michael Badra as well, finding himself right in the mixture of this. Those two going to get side and stalled out for a second. Here comes Ryan in the middle, looking to make it a 3-wide battle. Ryan able to make that move, so he'll sign himself into third position, and now wants more. He wants that second place. Here comes Ryan. Oh, had to do a little bit of a checkup, and the crossover finds himself now down to the inside into 3 and 4. Cox in second on the middle line, trying to hold down the 19 at bay. They work themselves off of turn number 4. Michael Badra losing a bit of ground there as well after getting passed by these two drivers. Can Ryan hang on for another couple laps? Will he be able to make this stick? Tries to take a look to the inside, not quite able to make it work. Has to slide up and check up off the exit of turn number 2. But as we point forward to the driver of the 54, Dylan Carrier, he will see the white flag in hand. 1 lap to go here from Kansas Speedway. 1 lap away from making this his 3rd win in a row. Trying to do it with style, trying to do it with whatever he can do. And actually, is he out of fuel? He might be out of fuel there. Coasting around, it looks like Dylan might be somewhat out of fuel, just trying to get this thing coasted back around. But with that big lead, he's going to be able to do so, and he will collect the checkered flag. And then the battle for second at the line, it goes to Christopher Cox. Ryan Holler just comes up a bit shy right there, but he will still collect a podium finish. What a drive there by Ryan those past couple of laps. Just wasn't able to find that way around the driver of the 53. But congrats to Dylan Carrier on the race win. 3rd win in a row, 4th on the season. And boy, this team has been unstoppable since the beginning of the chase, rolling into the season finale, or the regular season finale. Just absolutely a heck of a performance and drive out of Dylan tonight. So Dylan will go around and continue to celebrate here on the front straightaway. We'll be able to talk to some of these drivers in just a few moments. We'll let them get situated into the waiting room. As we look back at the full race recap here, though, most laps led still goes to Christopher Sage, the fastest lap as well, but 12 lead changes at the end when it is all said and done. Dylan Carrier again coming home with the race win. Then those 3 cautions on the night, one of them being the stage caution at lap 75. So 2 incidents that brung out cautions actually involving one and Dylan Carrier, our adventure race winner, but the first one as well, actually another podium driver involved in that one, Ryan Holler. So I mean, 2 of the podium drivers getting involved in wrecks but still able to find themselves working back through that adversity, and now will be able to put themselves in a great picture for these last couple of races coming up. Let's go ahead and get our race winner in the booth, though. Dylan, 3 wins in a row, 4th of the season. Boy, what a heck of a drive out of you and the team there tonight. A little bit of a situation there earlier on when racing Christopher Sage for the race lead, but you were able to fight yourself back and taking that race lead. You really never looked back, and also playing a little bit of strategy there Oh boy, what a heck of a drive, and I'm sure this one has to feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. Honestly, he couldn't have wrecked me at like the best time too, because we could one stop it from there. And I don't know why I think it was just me, Hauler, and I think Michael maybe, but like only 3 of us took tires there when I wrecked, and that just allowed me to get out front and just get as big of a lead as possible. And then I was able, I just ran it dry. And I mean, heck, even after pit cycle, I think I came out second right behind the leader. So I knew I was going to be good because everyone pit like 10 laps before me. If a caution would have came out, though, I had no tires left. So if caution would have came out, anybody else still had a set of tires would have more than likely won the race. But yeah, it feels great to get that third win in a row. Definitely starting off the chase strong with closing out the regular season with a win, and then now the first 2 rounds in the chase, winning them both. So that's going to give me a good points cushion going into my bad racing that I'm going to inevitably have, because I'm pretty sure we're at a short track next week if I remember correctly.
IRP.
Yeah. You would think for that being real close to me in real life that I would know it, and I really don't. I've only ever raced, I think, late models there. I don't think I've ever ran a truck or Xfinity or anything there in like NASCAR side of things. So it'll be interesting, but if I can at least get a top 10, go into Michigan, that is my home track. That's the track I know the most. So should have a big enough points lead if I can just finish out the season strong going into the championship race that I could probably clinch it. With Joseph and Xavier both being on vacation this week, definitely gives me a huge points gap.
Yeah, and I mean that points gap that you'll have again. Well, we're a little bit till we get everything situated, but I mean, you came in not too far behind entering tonight's race, and again, like you mentioned, those 2 missing out here, moving you to the top with the race win. But again, when you have that sort of points lead that we will probably see you have here when those get updated, I mean, really, you can afford to have maybe not the best week next week. Obviously, you don't want to put yourself in a super bad spot and lose a ton of points, but I mean, still, you can have a decent week, whether that's a top 5 or maybe a 6th or 7th place position, and still, I mean, like you said, having these tracks that I think are more like your wheelhouse, Michigan, and then Homestead. I mean, those 2 tracks really have been, or are tracks that are similar to tracks that we have been to so far. So when you focus on these next couple of weeks, besides IRP and like Michigan, I guess really looking at Richmond and Homestead, what are your thoughts on those 2 tracks?
I have confidence for those 2 tracks. Like I know I'm going to do good at Michigan. I know I'm going to do good at Homestead. I did really good in the championship race last season at Homestead until I wrecked myself because I was basically racing Joseph for the championship, and I sent it a little too hard on the outside and wrecked. But I think if I can have a big enough gap going in, and Richmond, I'm pretty good at Richmond. I'm not horrible. IRP is the only track that scares me coming up. Honestly, like next week is the only race that kind of worries me. So I think I should be fine. But I mean, yeah, I have a 77-point gap to second place. I'm now the points leader. So 77 is a pretty big gap. So I think I should be good. As long as, nothing catastrophic happens, I should be good.
Yeah, definitely don't need to have something that would throw that points lead away. But a huge statement win here again, collecting your 3rd win out here tonight. A great race from this 54 team. Before we let you go celebrate in Victory Lane some more, is there any shout-outs or any sponsors you'd like to give or thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the angler for being on the car. The owner, Ree, he's gonna be so excited when he finds out I won for the 3rd time in a row with his little shop on the hood. And shout out to you for the great broadcasting. Shout out to the drivers that still come out and show up every week. I know our fields have gotten small, but I appreciate everyone who still comes and shows up each week. Shout out to my mom for being strong in the hard times that we're going through. And shout out to my dad for, I mean, he donated to the league to help us, stay running. So shout out to him. Shout out to Badger Esports. They actually donated to help the league funds. So another $10 in my pocket tonight, because every race winner gets $10 in the chase. So that's another $10 in my pocket.
Well, we're so glad to be able to see you carry some success here over the past couple of weeks, Dylan. And again, now that you are the current points leader, we look forward to seeing you close out hopefully these next 4 weeks with being in that top spot and potentially seeing you be crowned this season's champion. Thank you for taking a minute to speak with us again, and hopefully we can see you next week.
I'm hoping. I haven't won a championship in 4 years, so this would be nice if I could just keep this momentum.
Momentum definitely needed, and that's what you have. Thanks, Dylan, for taking a moment, and we will hopefully catch up with you again next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Dylan Carrier, our race winner. You hear him talking about momentum, and I mean, he's got it. He's the third win in a row. I mean, you kind of heard him say maybe not so enthusiastic about Indianapolis Raceway Park, but I mean, really, if you have consistency on your side, you can still find yourself finding some success. Now, if he can get himself in the right state of mind and not be so down about Indianapolis Raceway Park of maybe being an Achilles heel, I think you could probably see another win on the season. But that track is going to be so crazy in general. So a lot of things to look forward to next week at IRP. Let's go ahead and pull up our second place driver, Christopher Cox, who spending a lot of the night inside the top 5. Ultimately, though, just the strategy between you and Dylan there, a little bit different of a play call, and ultimately just weren't really able to keep up with Dylan there. But I mean, overall, a great night, a solid night, and I guess run me through a bit about maybe what your sort of strategy calls were there. And I believe if I'm playing the race through correctly in my head, you're banking probably on a caution there at the end, I think. You got us? We'll give him a second to get things figured out here. Hey, Christopher, you got a copy? All right. Hey, Christopher. All right. Well, I'm not quite sure if he can hear us, so we'll give him a second to get that figured out. We'll pull up our third place driver, Ryan Haller, who hopefully has us. You got us for there, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you on. No, I can't do speaker, so I'm just going to do it like a phone call.
Alrighty. All right, I think we're good. All right, cool. Ryan, so I think this is the first time we've talked through one another tonight, or this season, I believe. Correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of touched about it a little bit during the race, but you've really, I mean, you've had speed here and there, but really you've had a lot of bad luck, and over these past couple of weeks, things really starting to seem like they may be going in a positive direction, finishing where you ultimately probably deserve. And I mean, a third place here, it wasn't like you lucked into it. You showed your speed out there tonight, and really at the end, you're so close to getting around Christopher there at the end, but those tires look like they were kind of at the end of their lifespan. But I mean, tell me about the run out of this night team and how much confidence this does for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've had confidence well, not when we were in the Xfinity car, I should say. That car I'm not good with. I primarily do trucks and Cup and ARCA, but I stay away from that thing. So it was a learning experience at the beginning of the season, so that's why a lot of the luck didn't go my way. Tonight was kind of a different race for me. I love Kansas. I have great speed here. I'm not good at qualifying for some reason, so that's why I started in the back, but I figured that was a good opportunity for me just to save tires and, that's kind of what I was doing all night. That's kind of why I was like up in the front, back in the back. I was saving fuel there at that one point, just trying to make it a 2-lap pit stop. That's why I went way, way back and distance from the pack. But that caution helped, I guess, kind of a little bit. The tires were kind of the most important thing tonight, so it didn't really come down to fuel.
Yeah, I mean, again, speaking of, things kind of working out the way that they did, you were actually involved in a early incident back at lap 15, I believe it was. Uh, didn't get a whole lot of damage, but definitely had a little bit to come down and fix. But I mean, that really didn't seem to stop you at all. And I mean, just kind of, I wouldn't say it looked like it was going to be another one of those bad luck nights, but really, like you mentioned, you were able to do, I think looking at lap times, you're probably up there. If you're on an even set of tires, we saw Dylan with a little bit better tires there at the end, but even set of tires wise, I think you're really right there inside the top 2 or top 3 on lap time. So, I mean, really the long run speeds showing up here tonight, and you look to IRP, Michigan, Richmond, and then our Homestead for the season finale. At least 2 of those trucks similar to tonight's race here at Kansas. You have the short track, and then the 2 short tracks, IRP and Richmond, which are a little bit different and can be a little bit chaotic at times. But what does your rest of the 4 race season look like from a driver's standpoint?
Yeah, a couple things that you kind of mentioned at the early wreck. That was kind of an odd incident. I just had a really fast run on the outside line, and Chris and I were talking about it before you pulled us into the interview. It was just a racing incident. He tried to close the gap, get up and just slide in. I just had a huge run. I couldn't check up in time when he did that, but luckily neither of us had much damage. We were both able to rebound from that. Yeah, I was able to. I'm a lot better with the long run now, which is really strange because when I first started iRacing like 3 years ago, I was better on the short run. I'd be able to keep up with these guys for a few laps, and then I would just be a lap down right away. So it really makes me feel a lot more confident when I can just let the guys kind of just go do their thing, and then I can just kind of save tires, save fuel if I have to. I got a win in a Monday night league I'm in with Wyatt that we love to race in, and that was my first league win that I've gotten. I've been racing with these guys for a while, a lot of these guys for a while, so it was, it really, confident building experience to be able to run a long run, save fuel, save tire. Like when we had that caution at the beginning, I took tires and I knew, the other guys were going to try to save a set, but I knew that was an opportunity for me to try to get up to the front, try to cash in for some stage points. And if I finished in the back, at least the points might have evened itself out. But, like I said, the cautions fell my way. The last 4 races of the year, I'm not the best at short tracks. I'm way better at anything bigger than, 3/4 of a mile or a mile bigger. I'm just not good at those shorter tracks as far as like being in the top 5 or better. But yeah, looking forward just to a good strong finish for the season, for not only my team but the league in general as well.
Yeah, definitely some confidence that would definitely be on your side here after tonight and the momentum. And I mean, also being in the sort of last few races here and having a good points night here as well, which again, I don't quite think the points are fully updated yet, but once we get a look at that, I think you're probably sitting a little bit better than you came into tonight. But Ryan, before we let you go here, is there any sponsors you'd like to give or any shout outs you'd like to thank, or sponsors you'd like to thank, shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't really have any sponsors. This is just a fun hobby for me, so that's why I always like making, fun paint schemes like of other, sponsors. I don't have a. I would say Fish Speed is like my only sponsor. Not really a sponsor, but if nobody knows what Fish Speed is, check out Fish Speed. It's a great school for drivers. They're the reason why I'm getting way faster and way more consistent. Jordan Fisher, check him out on YouTube. He's one of the best coaches out there. It's a whole community of us. We're on Discord and stuff. They do private lessons and stuff. So I always like to give them a shout out. I want to give out one more shout out to not only my family. My mom watches every single race. She supports me always. Probably in the chat you might see. My dad watches a lot of the races. When he can, and I appreciate him watching. And biggest shout out is to my teammate Wyatt. Wyatt can't make all the races this season due to a lot of scheduling conflicts because he's actually getting married either tonight or tomorrow night. He's told me 100 times, so I'm bad for a bad friend and teammate for remembering the exact night. But I know he's getting married either tonight or tomorrow night, and so I'm happy for him and congrats to him. And so I wanted to give him a shout out, especially for all the help he's given me.
Alrighty, Ryan. Well, thank you for taking a minute to speak with us. I'm so glad to be able to finally get you up here in the booth and have an interview with you. And hopefully this can be the kickoff to what can be a good rest of the 4 races in this season.
Yeah, good talking to you, man, because I don't get up here in the booth too often. So when I do, I always like to talk to the announcers, get to talk to you guys a little bit, get to know you a little better.
Alrighty, Ryan. We'll go let you debrief. Thanks again. And again, hopefully we can speak to you again at least next week. And if not, once more before the season ends.
All right, man. You have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
All right, that was our 3rd place driver, Ryan Haller. And again, we'll see if we can try Christopher Cox again here. Christopher, you got us.
How's it going, Oscar?
Hey, it's going good. Glad that we are able to get you working now here with the mic. But I can't remember what I asked you before. But I mean, overall, a great night for you, coming home in 2nd place. A little bit of a disadvantage there at the end compared to Dylan. But ultimately, I mean, you found yourself out at the front. I guess run me through your night a bit. Oh, and we lost him. Well, as quickly as we had him, we lost him real quick once again. So we're gonna give him another moment here and see if he's able to come back. While we do that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. So, in first with the win, Dylan Carrier, Christopher Cox there, who we're still trying to get a word with. Finishing in 2nd, Ryan Haller with his first podium of the season, coming deep within this season. But the momentum there could potentially be on his side. Finally, we talked about him having some bad luck, and really now seems like as well with the car change from the O'Reillys to the truck, really seems to be playing into his hands just a bit more as well. So watch out for Ryan here. These next 4 races could potentially be a threat for these podium, and if even a win somewhere in there as well. William George, Michael Badra finishing out the top 5. Christopher Stange, Noah Blackwell will round out the top 7. Lucian Thompson, John Tiller, Kenneth Lowry will round out the field in this 10 car set of drivers out here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Well, looks like I don't see yeah, I don't see Christopher back in here, so I am gonna go ahead and assume that he had some sort of connection issues there. Not quite sure. Again, we'll take one last look. Yeah, it doesn't look like he is in the waiting room. So, unfortunately, Christopher having a little bit of issues there when trying to get his interview done. But congratulations to Christopher on the second. I mean, congratulations again to Dylan as well. All our third place podium drivers each well deserved it and earned it. I mean, Christopher was able to hang on over Ryan there at the end, and Dylan just collecting his third win in a row, has been on a winning streak, looking to throw it into next week as we head to Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. That'll be same place, same time right here on Turn Sector Media. Before I let you go, though, guys, thank you for tuning in here. Once again, I'm Oscar Jensen in the booth, and we look forward to seeing you back here again next week for more racing for the National Stock Car iRacing Series.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You got a great car, great team. Go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheel